another morning workout in LA for 3 generations of the greatest pairs skaters and ice dancers of our time. Between them, they've won over 20 world and Olympic medals. But who will have the edge as they let loose in professional competition? Today, 1984 Olympic pairs silver medalists Kitty and Peter Carruthers will try to turn back the clock against the 1992 world and Olympic champions from Russia. Then the finest ice dancers of the decade, Klimova and Ponomarenko, will make their professional debut. Normally the home of the LA Lakers and Kings, today the sport is figure skating. From the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles, California, it's the Durasoft Colors World Challenge of Champions. Hello everyone, I'm Julie Moran, and today we're bringing you the pairs and dance competition. Now on upcoming Wide World of Sports shows, you'll see the men and ladies compete, as well as special exhibition performances by all of our champions. But first, we turn our attention to the pairs, and joining me is John Misha Petkovic. And Misha, we have gold and silver medalists from both Olympic Games here today.
And what that means, Julie, in effect, is a competition between the experienced professionals who know exactly how to play the professional game and the newcomers who are not quite sure what approach to take, but yet have just completed an intense Olympic season. With us, Peggy Fleming. Peggy, can the 92 Olympic pair champions, Mishkatunik and Dmitriev, who brought their country its 8th consecutive Olympic gold medal, mount a significant challenge against the experienced pros?
Oh, yes. Coming right out of the Olympic Games, they certainly have the advantage physically. Mishkatunik and Dmitriev are an extraordinary blend of power. Because of her extreme flexibility, they do some very inventive moves. They have a beautifully choreographed program that is actually their Olympic program. They are very well rehearsed on it and could probably do this in their sleep, which makes them almost unbeatable.
Mishkatunik and Dmitriev will skate behind the 92 Olympic silver medalists Bechki and Petrov, followed by 84 gold medalists Vlhova and Vasilyev. Americans Kitty and Peter Carruthers are the final pair, and the total purse is $80,000, with $40,000 going to the winner. And on the ice, our first pair, silver medalists from the 92 Olympics, the husband and wife team of Elena Bechki and Denis Petrov from the Russian Republic.
And Julie, they have a very fresh, strong, crisp style to their skating. They have a history, though, of getting very nervous for competition.
And taking that into account, they're starting out very conservatively with side-by-side axles. In fact, they probably should have done side-by-side double axles in order to be a major contender here. The 7 judges will be giving them 2 marks. One for technical expertise, in which they'll be looking for difficult jumps, throws, and lifts, and one for artistry, which is embodied in musicality, choreography, and finesse.
Like so many Russian pairs, Bechki and Petrov have been skating together for 6 years, married for 2 years.
Very nice unison on the flying camels as they're turning. But relatively very simple choreography, and their choice of music, I think, lacks a little punch to it.
They almost seem to be going in slow motion, and this is their most difficult maneuver, a throw triple Salchow. Well, you can't fault that.
And this is a wonderful example of their style, their strength. And now look at this position where he holds her upside down and actually takes skating moves. that shows the strength and balance on both skaters' parts. And these traveling sit turns, nice unison.
Well, this is a very well-skated program, but not very exciting and lacking in difficult technical maneuvers.
Yelena Bechke and Denis Petrov.
Let's take another look at that throw triple Salchow. It's very well executed. She's very straight in the air, and it's really a perfect landing.
And here are the scores for technical merit. They range from 9.7 to 9.9.
And remember that the high and the low are thrown out.
9.8.
And they seem like very high marks for the first skaters to come out. It doesn't leave a lot of room for
9.8.
anyone else.
And here are the scores for artistic impression. They also range from 9.7 to 9.9.
That sets a high standard for the others.
And pair skating obviously means teamwork. They have to balance their marriage with their career. So we couldn't help but ask, any complaints?
He is a very lazy man. He likes to sleep, to eat, to read a book. Nothing much. But I'm very active. That's why sometimes we're fighting. It's not very often.
And coming up, 92 world and Olympic champions Natalia Mishkatunik and Artur Dmitriev. 6,000 miles from St. Petersburg, Russia to Hollywood, California. Natalia Mishkatunik and Elena Bechke took the night off at Ed Debevic's 50-style restaurant with some of the other skaters. They seem to really appreciate the talents of the versatile waiters who double as dancers and singers. Natalia is one half of the 92 World and Olympic Championship pairs team of Mishkatunik and Dmitriev, who are seriously considering returning to the Olympics in 1994. Their gold in Albertville gave Russia its 8th consecutive gold medal in Olympic pairs competition, a moment Artur remembers with mixed emotions.
I feel bad when I won because we skate not exactly clean. Yes. Our program, and I feel bad because I know how we can skate. I feel not comfortable, but I'm happy because I win.
And now going for their first professional win here at the Forum, Mishkatunik and Dmitriev.
They have a wonderful combination of power and elegance.
Now, with the memory of that Olympic performance, they're going to start out fairly cautiously here with side-by-side double-toe wallies instead of triple-toe wallies, which they would ordinarily do.
You know, Misha, part of that may be that they have been plagued with injuries this year. He has been having chronic back problems. She's had 2 operations on her foot for bursitis, and only 3 months ago in practice, Artur dropped her on her head and she suffered a concussion and was in the hospital for over 2 weeks.
Well, let's see what happens here. A throw triple toe loop, very difficult maneuver. She does not make it. That could be partly technical and partly physical.
And there's an example of her flexibility.
difficulty with the throw triple toe loop. Here comes a throw triple sow cow. Watch the preparation. She changes her mind and does a double. It could very well be that the physical problems that they've had this year are causing them to be very conservative in this program. It may not be enough.
This is such a well-choreographed program, though. It has such interesting moves, like these interconnecting moves as they go from one element to another. The beautiful turns, very much in character of the music.
Combination of death spirals. First, a forward inside death spiral. He lets her slide on the ice. Will come around and pick her right up into another forward inside death spiral. Now that was very beautifully done.
And very inventive for them to even think of doing this and this move.
Her flexibility is absolutely amazing.
A very beautiful performance. However, I think it really lacked that extra punch. And, you know, this is what competition is about. Sometimes you're on and sometimes you're not.
And you know, in professional competition, it's not just that you do a difficult maneuver like this throw triple toe loop in which she doesn't really open up and check out of it. It's that you execute the maneuver perfectly, as is the case here in this press lift. This is a very good example of something they did well in their program. One-handed press lift with a very creative letdown. Swings around his body and out.
And here are the scores for technical merit. They are predominantly 9/8.
And in fact, that puts Bechki and Petrov in first place, at least in technical merit.
And the scores for artistic impression a little higher. 9/9s you're seeing there, all 9/9s. And a 10.
Well, this shows the power of a beautifully choreographed program.
And remember, in professional competition, the scores for artistic impression are the most important and are used to break a tie.
And based on those artistic marks, Mishkatunik and Dmitriev take the lead over their countrymen, Bechki and Petrov. Elena Volova and Oleg Vasiliev captured the gold at the '84 Winter Olympic Games in Sarajevo. The three-time world champions from St. Petersburg have skated together for nearly 15 years. In 1991, after 7 years of marriage, they divorced amicably, and both say skating together is much easier now. They've thought about retirement, but fear they would miss the skating too much. And although they're separated, you sense after meeting them that they will always need each other.
I've got used to Oleg as my husband, and so we had our duties in the life. And right now, I'm trying to be independent, but sometimes I feel like, okay, I have to ask him to do this because I have no idea how to do it, and nobody can tell me, and he's the only one in the world who can help me with this. So we still depend on each other.
And now 1984 Olympic silver medalist from the Russian Republic, Elena Volova and Oleg Vasiliev. And they are skating to The Story of My Life by Michael Crawford.
This is a very comfortable number, very simple choreography, very much in the character and style of their choreographer. They've just started working with Bill Falver. He was an American pair skater, skated with Leanne Miller.
The story of my life is very plain to read. It starts the day you came and ends the day you leave. The story of my life.
And like the music Story of My Life, a professional skating program must almost be a story. Our harmonious and seamless combination of technical elements and interconnecting footwork. And it's not how many difficult moves you do, but rather that you do them precisely and perfectly.
I was alone. You found me waiting and made me your own. I was afraid that somehow I never could be the man that you wanted of me. You're the story of my life, and every word is true. Each chapter sings your name. Each page begins with you.
And one of their difficult elements coming up, a throw triple sow cow. It is. Very well
Look
done.
at her face. She is so excited to have landed that.
You know, they're skating very well today, and it almost looks very simple because they're doing so well. Here's an example of their singles technical ability, side-by-side jump combination, double toe wally, and finally into a butterfly.
Well, they look so comfortable out there. They're timing to the music and doing all of their elements. They really have a comfort zone. I think maybe from skating so often in the shows in the past few years.
The story of my life, so very plain to read. It starts the day you came and ends the day you leave.
Very pretty number. Very well suited to them.
You know, it wasn't that they did that many technical maneuvers, it's that they did them extremely well. And in fact, many of the difficult ones look very simple indeed.
And Oleg Vasilyev.
I think this is one of the nicest numbers I've ever seen them do.
And they skated it extremely well. Let's take a look again at one of those elements, the throw triple sow cow. Now watch how straight she is in the air. This allows her to control the rotation, and at the end of the throw, to stop the rotation and check out of it on a nice edge.
And here are the scores for technical merit. They have to be very pleased. 9 8s and 9 9s. And the scores for artistic impression, right off the bat, they have a 10.
9.9.
Very well deserved. It was a beautiful program.
And I think the issue here is that it was both artistic as well as a harmonious composition of technical maneuvers, which has allowed them to get very high marks and potentially put them in the lead.
And in fact, those marks do put the 84 Olympic champions ahead of the 92 medalists. Quite an upset. What a performance for Vlhova and Vasilyev. And coming up, the pairs team who finished second to Vlhova and Vasilyev at the 84 Olympic Games, Kitty and Peter Carruthers. Our final skaters in the pairs competition, the brother and sister team of Kitty and Peter Carruthers. At the 1984 Winter Olympic Games, they became the first U.S. pairs skaters to win an Olympic medal since 1952. They've had many milestones along the way in a career that began a very long time ago.
It was, and what a time it was, a time of innocence, a time of confidences. Long ago it must be, I have a photograph, preserve your memories, they're all that's left you.
Kitty and Peter Carruthers, 20 years of skating memories.
Ladies and gentlemen, Peter and Kitty Carruthers.
And our final skaters in the pairs competition, 4-time national champions, Kitty and Peter.
They have a fresh new look and a new feeling in their skating. They're skating to Here's to Life by Shirley Horn.
No complaints and no regrets. I still believe in chasing dreams and placing bets. But I have learned that all you give is all you get. So give it all you got.
In the first few seconds of this program leading up to this sit lift, you can see the professionalism, the finesse, the beautiful edges. Everything is perfect. And that's what it's going to take. You know, they won this event in 1985 and then again in 1989, and they're looking for another win here.
Or takes away. As long as I'm still in the game, I want to play.
Throw triple sow cow. Oh,
Look how beautiful. She's happy with that.
So here's to life.
They're working with a new choreographer for them, Sandra Bezic. Sandra did many numbers for Brian Boitano.
Here's to life. For dreamers.
They're adopted brother and sister, and they've been skating together since 1971.
May all your storms be weathered.
And they toured with Ice Capades for 5 years, and now they're touring with Stars on Ice, so you may see in your hometown as they pass through.
Here's to life. Here's to love. Here's to
beautiful forward inside death spiral right to the music. And there are a couple important points here. The first is that in this professional competition, they are executing their technical maneuvers perfectly, a key element. And the second, of course, is that it all fits together in a coherent fashion.
And now coming up is one of their trademark moves, the lateral twist. Watch her rotate parallel to the ice. Very spectacular lift.
and all that's good get better. Here's to life. Here's to love.
That was spectacular. Absolutely right by the book. Perfect technically. I think they could have done it.
Look at Peter's face. He knows they nailed it right there.
There's just a little subtle change to their
Peter
skating.
and
I think
Kitty
it added
Carruthers.
so much. A new confidence in their performances. This is wonderful.
You know, we've talked about precision being an important component of a winning professional program. Let's take a look again on how well executed this throw triple Salchow is. Look at the height and the beautiful landing. And look at this overhead, a very creative move. He picks her up in the air, and then she's going to do a spiral on his shoulder. And look how precisely she places herself in that particular lift.
Our 9.8.
And here are the marks for technical merit, 9.8, 9.8. Those marks don't look like they're going to be good enough to overtake Vlhova and Vasilyev.
And even with that 10, Julie, I don't think they're enough, and in fact, they aren't. Vlhova and Vasilyev still remain in first place.
9.9.
But they should get a higher mark for artistic because their program was very well choreographed. They skated very strong and very confident.
And here are the marks for artistic impression, 9.9, 9.8, 9.9. They seem a little disappointed, but there's a 10 right there.
9.9.
And a second 10. Well, you know what that does? That means that the total marks for Vlhova and Vasilyev and the Carruthers are exactly the same.
And as you said before, Misha, the artistic marks are the determining factor, so Kitty and Peter Carruthers take the lead. Let's go to Marianne Grabovoy, who's backstage with our winners.
I'm with a very happy and I think very surprised Kitty and Peter Carruthers.
That's right. Very surprised.
A little startled because tonight, actually, I live in this area, and I was at home cooking dinner and said, well, it's time to get ready and go down to the Forum and skate. I didn't really even think of it as a competition tonight. So Kitty was staying at the house, so we just got our things together, came down here and skated, and it turned out to be a great result for us, but we just really had a great time out there tonight.
That's the difference when you're in your 9th year of competing professionally, a little bit more relaxed attitude.
I definitely think so.
I think tonight was actually the most relaxed I think we've been in a long time professionally competing, and it was actually fun out there. We had the home crowd behind us, and I really, really enjoyed myself.
How many more years will we see you competing together?
I think you probably just saw the last time.
This could be it.
I think you did. We're planning on, as of right now, retiring this year at the end of our tour.
It's a lovely way to go out. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
And when we return to the Durasov Colors World Challenge of Champions, it will be time for the ice dancing competition with world and Olympic champions Klimova and Ponomarenko. Welcome back to the Durasov Colors World Challenge of Champions. Hello, everyone. I'm Julie Moran, and it is time for the dance competition, which features Olympic gold medalists Klimova and Ponomarenko in their professional debut. And for those of you who aren't quite sure what the difference between pairs and ice dancing is, here's Misha for more on that.
In simplest terms, pair skating is fundamentally an athletic discipline. Singles jumps, as in the jump combination, are an integral part of a pair program, as are dramatic throws in which the lady is released high into the air, rotating multiple revolutions. In addition, pair teams will do overhead lifts in which the lady is pressed up at full arm extension. And of course, the hallmark of pairs competition, the death spiral. When you see a skater throw his partner into the air or jump, it's a good bet that it's the pairs event. In ice dancing, on the other hand, it's the spirit of the dance that's important. In the absence of dramatic athletic moves, edges become the fundamental determinant of expertise. The skaters must lean from side to side to create the sensation of flow and movement. An intricate and fast footwork in unison provides the basis for technical comparisons between ice dancing teams. Ice dancers also rely on changing positions as they take ballroom dancing to a new height, intertwining themselves from step to step. And finally, ice dancers are judged on how appropriately they interpret and express the music.
So, Misha, the challenge for these skaters is to really preserve the true essence of dance. And as we said earlier, the finest ice dancers of the decade are here with us, reigning world and Olympic champions Klimova and Ponomarenko.
And they've captured that position with their harmonious interpretation of the music and their strict adherence to the character of the dance. But despite their expertise, I get the sense that they, like the newcomers in the pairs event, are not quite certain how to approach a professional competition. And in fact, Peggy, a major threat could come from Bestemianova and Buchan.
Well, they are seasoned professionals and known for their fiery and dramatic style. However, since Klimova and Ponomarenko are skating to a serious number, Bestemianova and Buchan have deliberately chosen a humorous routine that is geared toward audience reaction. They feel strongly that they can win here.
And here is the order of skating for the ice dancing competition. Bestemianova and Buchan will skate second, reigning world and Olympic champions Klimova and Ponomarenko skating last. And remember, the winner takes home $40,000. Our first dance team has placed second at this event the past 3 years in a row. Always a pleasure. Natalia Anenko and Jendrik Stratinsky.
They are an exquisite couple with a pure classical style. Very fluid number, almost like in slow motion.
The 7 judges are going to be looking for deep edges, footwork, not rapid in this case, slow because it's a slow program, changing positions, and of course musical expression to this piece of music by Mahler, the Adagio from the 5th Symphony.
And one of your favorite pieces of music, Misha?
It is indeed, Julie. I think there are only 2 words to describe this program: elegant and soft.
They make all these moves look so easy. They just flow from one right into the other.
They both reside in Moscow, and they've been skating together for the past 11 years.
As you watch this program, the edges, the lean, the changing positions, there can be no doubt that this is ice dancing.
had a gentle quality to their routine. They almost became the music. Excellent expression.
Natalia Amienko and Yenrik Sretensky.
Anenko and Stratinsky, truly a work of art, and we'll be back with their scores in a moment. And here are the scores for Anenko and Stratinsky in technical merit. Right away, those two 10s stand out.
And I think that reflects their footwork, the unison, their edges, and their changing positions.
9.9.
And here are the scores for artistic impression. Another 10 right there. Those are very high marks.
Well, they were a very strong creative interpretation in this number, which really sets very high standards for the skaters ahead.
And making their way to the ice, 32-year-old Natalia Bestemyanova and 35-year-old Andrei Bukin from Moscow. Natalia is married to a former European men's champion who choreographs for them now, and Andrei is married to his first dance partner. They won gold at the 1988 Olympic Games in Calgary and are 4-time world and 5-time European champions. They are the quintessential Russian ice dancers, and their skating often reflects their country's troubled past. After 16 years of skating together, we wondered, how much longer will they carry on?
I ask every year my body, how many years? Now he said last time, he said maybe 1 year more, maybe next another 2 years. I don't know. But every year I decide for 1 more year.
For us, skating is life. So if we decide to die, so we don't skate. It's really hard now to have Russian culture because no one in Russia don't interested anymore of culture. So if we don't skate and all people don't want to do something new, who will keep Russian culture if it's not us?
If not them, then who? Bestemyanova and Bukin were part of a skating dynasty now in jeopardy, and the end of an era may be at hand. Marianne Grabovoy has more.
For the past 30 years, Russian skaters have dominated the Olympic pairs competition, winning every gold medal since 1964. And with the exception of England's Torvill and Dean, Russians have claimed every Olympic gold medal in the history of the dance competition. They've been so successful, the Russian skaters are fond of saying, the pairs and the dance belong to us, they're our disciplines. Well, to understand why they are uniquely Russian disciplines is as complex as the Russian souls in a Dostoevsky novel. Their style is distinctly Russian, as expressive and enigmatic as is so much of their history, from the magic of St. Basil's Cathedral to Imperial Russia of the Tsars. To the Bolshoi Ballet, theirs is a rich cultural past to draw upon. But what is it that has fueled such passion and drama in their skating?
It's history. It's history, and I think it's nature. It's a lot of dramatic in our history. I think it's make people think about life, about God, about feeling.
Against the backdrop of a faceless Soviet society, a country that saw some 70 years of socialism, many great artists struggled. The individuality that flourished in the Russian ballet also flourished in the art that drew upon the ballet for inspiration, figure skating.
It was only thanks to great individualists anything continued. Otherwise, everything would have been doomed. It was a complicated struggle because we had that stupid motto that nobody is irreplaceable. That motto is false. We fought against it. I fought against it.
Tatiana Tarasova is the creative genius behind many of Russia's ice dance champions. She's coached 3 teams of Olympic gold medalists, including Klimova and Ponomarenko. Her counterparts are Igor Moskvin and his wife, Tamara Moskvina. Together, they've coached 4 Olympic pairs gold medalists, including Mishka Tunik and Dmitriev. Tarasova and the Moskvins have been the driving forces behind the Russian disciplines.
I think that our skaters didn't just skate, jumped, or made lifts. They brought this artistry to figure skating. We made sport close to art, in spite of all our difficulties in the country.
And now, as difficulties increase and the former Soviet Union struggles to reinvent itself, they worry if a glorious Russian tradition will slip away. Ice time, coaches, costumes, travel, everything was taken care of by the state.
Now the skaters and their coaches scramble for everything. Children and parents worry about survival, buying food, not about buying ice time. Who will pass on the tradition? What about the future?
Future, purely negative. It's horrible how it all collapsed. The sources that gave life to our figure skating school. Training the young skaters can never become financially feasible.
Russia is a very talented country, and we'll find the resources to bring new skaters. The Russians are very inventive and creative and strong characters. They survived during the revolution, they survived during the war. Now we survived during the perestroika. Skating won't die.
And the embodiment of Russian spirit on the ice, Bestemyanova and Bukin, the mavericks of the ice dancing community, creative, innovative, always entertaining, and just when you expect them to do one thing, they do another.
Well, they've taken a real competitive strategy here, doing a very clever and humorous routine, very different from their countrymen, Klimova and Ponomarenko's very serious number.
Now, this move is not a typical ice dancing maneuver. It's a singles maneuver, a flying camel. But I think you can consider this part of the program as the prelude.
And this is their version of the American classics.
Peggy, I've had one too many dance partners like this.
Their unison is not quite together.
What you want for nothing? A rubber biscuit, go, do, do, go. Go,
Well, you never know what to expect from this couple, but one thing you can count on, they'll always be different.
Well, she's a woman in red blue jeans. She's the queen of all the teams. She's the wild one that I know. She's the woman that
The audience is really getting into this number and he's understanding it too.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Wednesday, 9, 10, 11, 2, up. Let's go, let's go. Rock,
Well, this is a very entertaining program, but I'm not sure it consists of the footwork, the changes of position, and the difficult edges that constitute a winning program.
But it's definitely concentrating on fun and humor and audience reaction.
Well, the fans at the Forum certainly enjoyed this rock and roll tribute, but did it have enough technical difficulty to challenge Klimova and Ponomarenko? That's the question.
Well, I think that really is the issue, and you saw a lot of straight skating. There weren't a lot of deep edges. There was some intricate footwork, but possibly not enough, not a lot of unison. And so there could be a question here. Was this more entertainment than really ice dancing?
Well, the emphasis was really on fun and humor. This number is probably not their best example of their creative and technical talents. However, it was very different, very fun, and very humorous, and the audience loved it.
Here's an example of one of the maneuvers in their program, and as you can see, this is not a great example of their technical ability. He's on his back. He's doing more backstroking. Not a lot of edges in this particular example, and probably will not reflect well in the technical marks.
9.8.
And here are their marks for technical merit. They range from 9.7 to 9.9. They look a little disappointed with those.
Well, in fact, that puts them a tenth of a point behind Anenko and Stratensky.
And here are the scores for artistic impression. They are used to 10s in this category, and these scores are low for them.
9.8.
And this puts them in second place.
9.8.
And we'll be back with more of the Durasoft Colors World Challenge of Champions after this.
9.9.
The great thing about Hollywood is that anything can happen here. Our skaters took a morning tour of Universal Studios Hollywood that was full of unexpected surprises. And Natalia Vestemyanova found a little magic with the Little Tramp.
You're a big old moose, Charlie.
And now making their professional debut at the Durasoft Colors World Challenge of Champions, 6-time Hungarian champions from Budapest, Clara Engi and Attila Tóth.
Well, they have a more exotic approach in their style. They're skating to Feeling Begin, the Passion soundtrack.
By Betty Calloway of Torval and Dean fame, and they were 7th at the games in Alphaville. Making their professional debut at the Durasoft Colors World Challenge of Champions, 6-time Hungarian champions from Budapest.
There are 7 judges assessing this program on the basis of edges, footwork, changing positions, and musical expression. Right now, in first place, Anenko and Stratensky, ahead of Vestemyanova and Buchan, their countrymen. this music is monotone. It's almost monotonous, and I think it's very difficult for them to establish a point of view and therefore rapport with the audience. It's almost as though there's a shield between them and the viewer.
This was very difficult music to interpret, and technically they really didn't have that smooth flow that really is
Clara
required to
Engi
make
and
this
Attila
program work.
Coates.
And we'll be back with more of Durasoft Colors World Challenge of Champions in a moment. Backstage with their coach, the husband and wife team of Marina Klimova and Sergei Ponomarenko, the reigning world, Olympic, and European champions from Moscow. Last year in Albertville, they crowned an extraordinary amateur career with Olympic gold. They have been called irrepressibly passionate, and at the same time, the world's finest technicians. No other skaters in any category have equaled their record. We asked them about the secret to their success.
We skate very close to each other and very romantic, and we like to skate difficult steps. Marina's style is flying, and my job is to show how's Marina flying, and that people cannot feel that Marina moving on the ice, that they feel like Marina's like little flower flying on the ice every time.
After 10 years of competing, Klimova and Ponomarenko have no desire to return to the Olympics. How long will they skate professionally?
It depends when we want to have a baby. So. And then, I don't know.
We like to skate very much. We really love it, and it's fun for us. I think we will skate a long time.
Coming up next, the finest ice dancers of the decade, Klimova and Ponomarenko in their professional competitive debut. And our final competitors, Olympic, world, European, and Russian champions, the husband and wife team of Marina Klimova and Sergei Ponomarenko.
This is an incredible routine. This is the first time they've performed this number to Tchaikovsky's Symphony No. 5, and it was inspired by the composer's Lost Love. The scarf represents the lingering love he has for her and also represents the illness that took her life.
Footwork, unison, changing positions, and musical expression. This is it. This is ice dancing.
And just a reminder, the standings, Aninko and Strutinsky are in first place, Bestemyanova and Buchan in second, and the scores for Ingi and Todt while we were away positioned them in third place.
And you can see that in their dramatic expression as it is embodied in technical expertise. This program truly has a harmony, a single point of view. It's magnificent.
Well, it's a totally complete package, not only inventive and difficult choreography, but also the costumes reflect the message as well.
Tchaikovsky wrote this music about a woman whom he lost to death. He continues to try to hang on to the memory. But it's elusive.
Astonishing to think that this is the first time they've performed this program in competition.
Leaves you absolutely breathless.
A spellbinding program, absolutely magnificent. This is what ice dancing is all about.
Klimova and Sergei Ponomarenko.
Was remarkable. You know, it's great skating. That is great skating. Everything was there. Not only the technical components, but the musical expression and the harmony of the entire program. It was just wonderful.
And a very inventive way to use the scarf. Very, very effective.
And with a performance like that, the judges don't need much time to calculate the marks. Here are the scores for technical merit. You see a 10 there? I wouldn't be surprised if they were all 10s.
I wouldn't either. I mean, you could see it throughout that program. All 10s. And there were edges. There was intricate footwork. There was lean, unison. Tremendous. Changing of positions. It was just great technically.
And there they are with their coach, Tatiana Tarasova. She is absolutely brilliant.
And here are the marks for artistic impression. We're starting off with 10s again.
10.
Well, this could be a record.
10.
There you have it. 14 perfect 10s.
And 10.
I don't think I've ever seen that at this competition.
This is incredible. Very well deserved.
And the fans continue to applaud the exquisite talents of Klimova and Ponomarenko. Let's go down to Marianne Gravovoy.
Simply a soulful, exquisite performance by Marina and Sergei. Yet they weren't quite sure whether they should perform the Tchaikovsky number in their professional debut. You weren't sure, were you?
Yes, we have 3 numbers for this competition, but you know, the last word we leave to Tatiana. And Tatiana say you must skate Tchaikovsky because it's new. Nobody see this. And it will be successful, so she was right.
Tatiana became your coach 2 years ago. In which way has she helped you to become more expressive, more dramatic?
Yes, more emotionally, more dramatic, more, you know, softy inside. So when we start to work with Tatiana, we understand that we can skate the best in the world.
Definitely in a class by yourself, we all agree. Congratulations and much continued success.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And here are the final results in the ice dancing competition. Klimova and Ponomarenko win with a flawless performance. We'll be back in a moment. Our winners today in the ice dancing competition at the Durasov Colors World Challenge of Champions, Klimova and Ponomarenko. The reigning world and Olympic champions gave a breathtaking performance in their professional debut, one of the best ever. And we say goodbye to the pairs team of Kitty and Peter Carruthers, who brought their competitive career to an end with a victory here after 20 years of skating together. We'll miss them very much. There's a lot more championship figure skating coming your way this winter on ABC's Wide World of Sports. On Saturday, January 23rd, the U.S. Figure Skating Championships presented by Visa begins. That afternoon, we'll see our country's top male skaters live, along with finals of the dance competition. And that night, in a live primetime special, Olympic medalist Nancy Kerrigan hopes to capture...
Ago, figure skaters didn't just win one national title. They established dynasties of 4 and 5 years and more and became legendary figures. But those days have faded as a brand new skating world emerges. In ice dancing, former medalists turned professionals are back again, and familiar faces are matched in unfamiliar partnerships, vying once more for places on the podium. One is even a Russian who defected 3 years ago and has applied for American citizenship. The pros also want to compete in next year's Olympics, and so do some amateurs who were just there last year. Former national champions Todd Eldridge and Tanya Harding, for example, will try to recapture their national titles along the way. Pushing them, though, are many who stand where they did just a couple of years ago. The young, the promising, and the ultimately threatening. They look over the shoulders of Nancy Kerrigan, who won an Olympic bronze medal but continues to search for her first U.S. title, and Mark Mitchell, whose best shot at a national title is here.
If you ask any of the skaters, there's more tension at nationals than at worlds. And it's important because it's here in the U.S., and this is where you want to make your mark.